I'm a loser. Hi, I'm Allyson McOuat, and I'm a queer author based in Toronto, which is under Treaty 13. I am extremely excited and proud and grateful to Shelf Life Books in Calgary for making The Call is Coming from Inside the House your book of the month for June. The Call is a book of essays. It's my first book of essays, actually. I've been published several times before in magazines and newspapers, but I really kind of came into my own in 2020 when I wrote an essay called "The Ghost Was the Least of Our Problems" that went into the New York Times and in the Modern Love column, and then it was optioned by Amazon Prime, and it became a TV episode, which was really exciting. So from that sprung this book, The Call's Coming from Inside the House. Now, it goes into a little bit more about the story of the time when I lived in a house that was ostensibly haunted, if you believe in that or don't believe in that. But it really looks at my life and stories from my life from the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. And then it takes tropes from true crime, horror movies, and literature. And I look at moments in my life where I may have fallen into that trope, reduced myself to a particular binary thought about what I was supposed to be in that moment, what a mother is, what femininity is, where my place in the world was, and how that was looked at through the lens of film, literature, television, pop culture. So some of the tropes that we look at are, the teenage girls, the harbinger, the haunted house, the bitch, the psycho chick, the victim, unfortunately. There's a playlist in the book, so there's music you can listen along to. And then at the end, there's also a watch list of movies that I refer to in the book or that you might like. So a little extra here and there. I often wonder, to this day, if my ex and I had walked away from the path that was home to a phantom of a heteronormative life, a large home, a big mortgage, would we have become something different? It's why we bought the house, after all. I insisted that we get married with a wedding and all the trimmings. I wanted to have our own version of a nuclear family with 2 kids, a dog, a house with a backyard to grow our family in. Should I have known from the start that this house was not meant for our kind, grabbed her hand and run away? By the time it was ours, the house had stood for almost 130 years, but I wonder if it will stand for 130 more. Rather than decorate it the way we wanted, we ended up using most of our capital and my ex's sweat equity to keep the structure propped up and strong. The floors complained loudly when stepped upon. They creaked like they ached from too many sandings. Doors would get stuck shut. Electricity and plumbing needed to be repaired. Lights flickered. Taps leaked. There was no insulation, no protection from the elements. All of these things needed to be addressed. And the house didn't care about our bills. It didn't care if we froze to death. It didn't care about us at all. It just needed another family in it. Another family to keep it standing for another generation. Maybe my ex had been right all along with the second house. Perhaps it would have been better to buy something small and tear down the whole damn thing, brick by brick, into pieces. Maybe we could have built something custom, just for us. Thanks for listening to an excerpt from The Call is Coming from Inside the House. And thank you again to Shelf Life Books for promoting queer authors and queer stories, and for making The Call your book of the month. Thanks so much.